is a haul I got from one neighbor who was moving up north. Now they had a fourth of these chairs that was like this one, but one of its legs was just way mangled, and it's metal. It's above my skill grade for fixing. But the three of these, hi Dougie, look just fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and use these guys. Also picked up on that same one this really tattered but super cute side table for patio, and my favorite, a plant stand. Because while I'm not a green thumb, my husband is. Hi again, Dougie. To be fair, we have a second dog too. Time to clean them up. Used a scrub brush. I also had Dawn dishwashing liquid, although you could use any dishwashing liquid. And this is very important, baking soda. First, I started to sprinkle it on lightly, and then I realized, bleh, I can just throw clumps of it on. Then I grabbed my scrub brush and squirted some dishwashing liquid into it and kind of created a paste, rubbing it into the baking soda on every chair. Let that sit for 15 minutes, and in the meantime, I'm cleaning off the other pieces I have. Can I just say that the dishwashing liquid and baking soda cleaning did wonders for this style of chair. This was the worst of the three, and it looks really great drying in the sun here. So prepping this puppy for painting is about as tedious as you can get of a task, but it's so important. Using these metal scrub brushes, I gotta get the loose paint that's on here off. I mean, some of it you can just pick by hand. That's not good, and it's gonna look horrendous if I don't do it. Side note, I'm trying to grow out my bangs because, well, it's quarantine time, so why not? I don't get how people do this. I haven't done this since I was, well, alright, night before kindergarten picture, I decided to cut my own bangs. And that's the last time I've had to do this, so like 30 some years. For those of you who know my real age, yeah, I said some. And for those of you who don't, 30 some years. But anyway, side note over, sorry about the look, it's all I can do. Yay, it's sunny again. Although yesterday started to rain, so I had to bring everything in, but I went and colored my hair again. Still not working it. Happy to find that this is a nice iron, and for the most part the metal's in really good shape. I'm just going to go ahead and sand through here. I have an 80 grit, that's just what I have on hand. I wish I had like a 60 or a 40 because it would go by so much faster, but this will work. All right, I allow the dogs back out. Quick tip, if you are doing these things, if you use a blower, you can get a lot of the stuff off after you've sanded. Now I'm going to wipe it down and clean it up before I paint it. The biggest thing to remember when you're doing spray paint is the odds of you actually getting a full coverage on your first coat are pretty slim. So go ahead, just do a nice light coat. Don't overdo anything because that leads to drips, and that leads to a mess that's a lot harder to clean up than if you just wait a little bit and come back and do a second, maybe even a third coat. How to do a fade. Now, because I'm using two different colors of blue on the stuff I'm fading, I figured I'll explain it with a green and a blue just to make it a little easier. If you want to go from blue to green, meaning your blue is your dominant color, you're going to actually put the green down first, and vice versa. And if you want to go from green to blue, you put the blue down first and then have the green go over top of it. Then with your top color, so I'm going blue to green, so I want to put the green down first. And then when it comes time to put the blue, I don't have to have the green go over the whole piece. I just have to have it go over its section and then some. This one comes up, does its section, and I'm spraying it like this, holding the can basically even with the piece. But then when I get to the point where it starts to meet the lower section or the other section of color, instead of going down like this and continuing with that solid coverage, I'm now going to stay in this area and just spray this way. If this this were a piece going in my house, I might not have bothered doing the underneath side. But because it's still going to be outside, even if it's just on the lanai, I don't want to take a chance of it rusting on the bottom part. In addition to the wind and the planes, I'm being joined by a woodpecker today. Lots of noise. All right, quick review though on these little gadgets. You put the little clamps on it, and it goes in the end of the paint can, and it helps save you on your grip instead of just doing this, which it works. It's great. The only thing is to keep in mind is if your can starts to tip just even slightly to one side or the other, it will cause drips, and drips will land on your piece and frustrate you. So just be very aware of that. It is a hand saver, but you got to make sure that you've got this going right down the center, perfectly out of it. Then it works great. This is what I often do now to help me with the wind, but it doesn't make for good video. But if you ever are working outside, this works. Not a lot you can see that way, but you get the idea. Painting my plant stand, I did a little something different. I used this sea green as the base coat for the whole thing just because you're going to need multiple coats no matter what. But this is going to be a 3-color fade. So this is going on first. It's going to be just the bottom shelf though. And then I'll move on to using the lighter color of the other pieces as my middle color on this piece. Here it is. It's the rolling surf. My goal is to spray it straight on where I want it, and then just a little up and a little down for the top and the bottom. Finally, my darkest color just up on top. It should go without saying that you should let it dry between coats, but seeing as I frequently forget that, I thought I'd add it now. Hey there, could you please help out this channel by clicking subscribe? And if you click the bell, it'll even give you an alert when the next video comes up. Thanks. Last but certainly not least, time for a top coat. Top coats don't often get used when people spray paint stuff, but I do it because it actually helps keep them clean longer. It protects it. Now, I used a polyacrylic rather than a wax simply because the plant stand had so many finer details that it was a lot easier just to paint on the polyacrylic water base. Ta-da! If they look familiar, it's because I did try to go with a match to what I had done with the other pieces I had refinished earlier. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.